In this video, I'm going to talk about what's happening in Toronto's real estate market. I'll be breaking down latest trends and I will show you what it means for you if you're a buyer, seller, or a renter. So if you're someone who's looking to get into the market on freehold side of things, by freehold I mean detached, semi-detached house or a townhouse. So if you're someone who's looking to get into freehold property, chances are very high you're going to face competition. And especially in the semi-detached category, because there are not many semi-detached properties available for sale in the city of Toronto and the demand is pretty strong. On the other side, if you're someone who's looking to get into condo market, there are good opportunities for you because condos are not moving as fast as freehold properties. And on the flip side, if you're someone who are a seller and wants to get out of the market, on the freehold side of things, you will do pretty well. And chances are high you will end up getting multiple offers. On the other hand, if you're a condo seller, then in my opinion, I would recommend to hold on to your property for a year or two. Let me explain why. Typically, there's a certain price gap between a freehold property and condos. And as of today, we're noticing that price gap has been increasing. And whenever that happens, that price gap starts to narrow down eventually because of affordability. What that means is when people who are not able to afford freehold properties, then they start leaning towards condos. But for the most part of 2024 or the remaining period of 2024, I do not see price growth for condos. We might see slight fluctuations here and there, but we might not see a massive appreciation. But that might start to change in a year or two because once this interest rate scenario or the high interest rate scenario starts to settle down, the consumers' confidence and investors' confidence is going to come back. And secondly, as of today, developers are not building as much as they should. That is again due to high interest rate scenario. It is not economically viable for them to build. So chances are very high down the line we might end up in the same situation of supply problem. So whenever the supply decreases and at the same time if demand increases, the prices go in one direction, that is up. So we'll have to see how things pan out. And now let's go ahead and check out what's happening on the rental side of things. Finally, there's some good news for renters as rents have slightly come down. However, the media headlines will show you a different story. For example, this article is talking about rents all across Canada. But if you go through the full article, it confirms that the rent have come down a bit in Toronto. That is primarily due to an increase in supply of condos. So recently about 8 to 10 condo buildings which were recently built and they were delivered onto the market, and that has helped in bringing the rents down in some capacity. And just a heads up, these brand new buildings do not fall under rent control buildings. So that is something you need to take into consideration before signing out that lease agreement. Now let's run the numbers for Greater Toronto Area and Downtown Toronto. And before we proceed, I just have a quick favor. Please subscribe to this channel. And if you have any questions about real estate, you can book a call with me by clicking on the Calendly link mentioned in the description below. Now let's get right into it. So first, let's understand if you're in a buyer's market or a seller's market or a balanced market. And to understand that, the best metric is to calculate month of inventory. If the month of inventory is between 1 to 3 months, we are in a seller's market. If the month of inventory is between 4 to 6 months, we are in a balanced market. And if the month of inventory is beyond 6 months, then we are in a buyer's market. So in Greater Toronto Area, for all property types, we are sitting at 1.9 month of inventory. So that is, we are in a seller's market as a whole. But in downtown Toronto, that is CO1. This pocket is basically south of Broad Street to north of Lake Ontario, to east of Dufferin, to west of Yonge Street. In this specific pocket, you can find the cluster of condos. So condos in this specific pocket we are looking at is 4 months of inventory. So basically we are more or less in a balanced to buyer's market. So that's why I said there are opportunities as a buyer for condos right now. Now let's go ahead and do a year over year and month over month analysis for the Greater Toronto market. So here we go. So here's the trend line of Greater Toronto Area of all property types since end of 2019 to February 2024. And here you can see in the month of February and March of 2022, this is where the prices went off the charts. And after that, we experienced multiple interest rate hikes. And after that, we can see a downward pressure onto the prices, which were about like 25% give and take. And after that, the prices have kind of hovered along. And you can see if we do a year over year comparison, the prices have more or less remained flat. That is from February 2023 to February 2024. And the number of sales have increased by 16% though from the same period, that is February 23 to Feb 2024. And the active listings have also increased by 14% for the same time period, that is year over year comparison. But we have to do month over month comparison because that's more relevant. That gives us more information. That's what's actually really happening. So let's do that. From the January 2024 to Feb 2024, the prices have increased by 7.5% give and take. And the number of sales have also increased from January 2024 to February 2024 by 28%. So that's something to keep an eye out on. And the active listings have also increased by 9.52% for the same time period. So going forward, I think there will be slight upward pressure onto the pricing. I don't think so there's going to be drastic upward pressure. Well, it also depends what Bank of Canada decides to do with the rate of interest. I do not think so they're going to start cutting down the rates anytime soon. And well, it also depends what inflation numbers come into play. So it depends upon that as well. But going forward, I think so there will be slight and steady upward pressure for the remainder of the year for all property types in Greater Toronto Area, but we'll have to see how things pan out. And now let's proceed and check out what's happening in the condo market in downtown Toronto. So here's a trend line of benchmark prices for condos in downtown Toronto since February 2023 to February 2024. And if we do a year-over-year comparison, so prices have kind of slightly come down by about 3% give and take, 2.8% to be precise. Number of sales have increased by 16%, which is something interesting to see over here. And the active listings have also increased by 14%, but this is year-over-year comparison. Now let's do month-over-month comparison and see what's the real picture going on. So if we do a month-over-month comparison as well, the prices have come down about by 2.7%, and the number of sales have increased by 28%. And the active listings have increased by 9%. So for the remainder of the year, I do not think so that we will see a drastic upward pressure onto the prices for condos. I think so the prices are going to again hover along around this price point. But again, I'll say the same thing, that it all depends when they start cutting down the rates, maybe by quarter of this year, but who knows, we'll have to see how things pan out. So now let's go ahead and I will walk you through the numbers for freehold side of things in City of Toronto. So here's the data for semi-detached properties in 416 area, which is Toronto proper. And I know this data seems slightly overwhelming, but let's go step by step and I'll walk you through it. So if we do a year-over-year comparison, that is February 2023 to February 24, prices have slightly come up by about $40,000 for semi-detached properties. And if we do that comparison from the peak of May to February 2024, the prices have slightly come down about by $78,000. And if we do month-over-month comparison, that is from January 2024 to February 2024, the prices have come up by about $120,000. That's quite a jump. So if you look at the month of inventory, we have remained in the seller's market throughout the year from February 2023 to February 2024. And in the month of February 2024, you can see the month of inventory has come down to less than 1 month. So this is very, very crucial to look at because properties or semi-detached properties are flying off shelves. So by that, what I mean is that semi-detached property is a pretty hot commodity right now in the market. Now let's check out what's happening on the detached side of things. Here are the stats for detached properties in City of Toronto, and if we do year-over-year comparison, that is from Feb 2023 to Feb 24, the prices have come down about by $55,000, and this is where in the month of May of 2023 the market peaked for detached properties. And if we do a comparison from peak up till now, the prices have come down about by $250,000. That's quite a significant change. And if we do month-over-month comparison from January 2024 to February 2024, the prices have more or less gone up by $86,000. So that's something to keep an eye out on again. And if you see the number of sales in the month of February increased to 568 as compared to 342 in the month of January. And if you look at the month of inventory, the month of inventories also decreased from January 2024 to February 2024. That is, we are sitting at 1.4 month of inventory as of February 2024. Now let's check out what's happening in townhouses. So in townhouses, you can see the trend line over here is a bit fluctuating and a bit volatile. And one of the reasons, in my opinion, is because it has happened because of there were few outliers which has made the prices go up, especially in the month of December. Usually in the month of December, we don't have much of an activity. So you can see in the month of December, there were only 40 sales and there were only 77 active listings. So chances are very, very high there were outliers which has made the prices go up. In real numbers, I don't think so the prices went that much up in the month of December. And if we do year-over-year comparison from Feb 23 to Feb 2024, the prices have come down about by $136,000. And if we do month-over-month comparison from Jan 24 to Feb 2024, the prices have come up by about $156,000. So that's pretty much for today. I hope I was able to give some value. And if you have any questions about real estate, you can reach out to me anytime and subscribe to the channel. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video.